So this next bit's quite interesting. So I've got some of this immersed tin powder, and what it says basically is that to use hot water 80 to 90 degrees for a suitable plastic container, which probably isn't this, and then slowly pour in the powder while continuing stirring to ensure the powder is dissolved. So this is quite expensive. I think it was in the region of nearly 20 quid or something. So the idea is you can basically make this up as a whole tub. So basically this will make up 1 litre for 90 grams of powder. I think once you've made this up, it does go off quite quick. So what I'm going to do is just make a small amount. So I'm going to basically get some boiling water now, let it cool down to the right temperature, and then start mixing this stuff up. And then basically it says then just let it come down to room temperature, and then you can go for dipping it in. I've seen this stuff on videos, and it's quite amazing. If I get it right, it will just go like tin coloured immediately. It's quite like a magical transformation. So I'll try and capture that, and we'll see how we go. So for meanwhile, then get to use this kettle finally. So we'll get some water on the go, and yeah, I'll come back in a second when the solution is ready to go. Okay, so this water looks like it's come to the temperature a bit quicker than I expected. It's probably cooling off a bit now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to move a bit quick. So by rights, I should need 18 grams of this. So what I'll do is I'll put the water in first of all. Hope that container will be okay. Just going to cool it down a little bit as well, and then we'll try and get 18 grams of this. Now I'm going to need something to stir this with as well. Should have probably thought about this before. I'll use one of these plastic straws just because I've got so many of them. You can see I probably wasn't very good at chemistry. Right, grams. Okay, that's a little over, but we'll go with that. Right, I probably need to get my glove on again now. We'll give this a stir. So we're just looking for this to dissolve. Now it said you're probably best to use deionised water, which I do agree with, but I haven't got any at the moment. So in my rush to get this done, I've just used filtered water and then obviously just boiled it, which I know is not ionised water. So this may not work as well because again I'm not really following the instructions. It's not like I'm handling hazardous chemicals or anything, of course. So I've gone for 200 ml of water here. So hopefully I've got the ratios right. So good. A lot of it seems to be dissolved in now. There's just some of the larger crystals that have been a bit stubborn. We're probably quite low on temperature now. Yes, we're down to 50 degrees now, so it is lower than what it's suggested. So I think they're not going to shift, but we'll see. So with this container is just big enough to get the PCBs in, but it should just cover the board, so it should be all right for actually getting over the entire bit of the board. So we'll see if this works or not. Right, I'm going to carry on mixing this in for a moment, so I'll pause again. Okay, so I've given this probably about as good a clean as I can do. Just going to do a bit of final acetone once over, just to finally get any grease off of it as best we can. The wire wall remnants, so still quite a bit of muck coming off of that. I think that's probably about as clean as I'm going to get it, I think. Or rather, what I should be saying is about as clean as I can bother to get it, which is probably more more like the truth. So I'll just keep wiping that down until there's no more dirt on it. And this tinning solution should have pretty much come down to temperature now, I think. So I'm just going to give it a final check. It says room temperature, so I'm thinking if it's around 20 odd, that's probably going to be good enough. And again, if I get it wrong, then I can just blame not being thorough. Alright, I think that's about ready. And let me high as a kite by the rate I've been going for this acetone. Seal that up. Now I'm hoping I can get this in shot, see if we can get the effects, because if this works it should just turn that copper to a nice silver colour. Alright, that's kind of 29 degrees, so I'm going to try it at that, because I'm impatient and can't wait. And it's starting to get a bit late now, so I'm going to put that in. See what happens. Oh, actually, I can see that starting to come through. Actually, yeah, it's not instant, and I think that's probably because the temperature's wrong. But it's that copper's definitely changing to a more silvery colour. So I'd probably just check the packet actually, how long it needs leaving. I think it's something in the realm of about 5 minutes. I know I got that a bit wrong. It says 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so I can definitely see it starting to work though. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's definitely more silvery now. So alright, I think I'm just going to leave that now for 10 to 15 minutes and then give it a wash off, and then we'll see what we've got. But that should now stop the copper from tarnishing, and also it should make it a little easier to solder. So actually I'm quite impressed with that actually. It still looks a bit dirty in places where there's that muck on it, but yeah, I think that's coming through quite nicely now. Alright, we'll give that, because I think the idea is that already it's forming a thin layer of tin, so the idea is if you leave it longer it'll form a thicker layer. So, alright, what's that then? So I need to come back at pretty much 9 o'clock. So, okay, well, I'll leave that to it. Okay, so that's had its time now. So it's been there about 15 minutes, and yeah, looks to be looking okay. Kind of see where it's not adhered to it, just in these sort of places where there's a bit of tarnish, but actually I don't think that looks too bad. So it says on the packet to rinse the room in cold water first, then hot water. I don't know why that is, but I'll do that now, and then we'll go upstairs and have a bit of a closer look at it, see what's come out. Right then, so what do we end up with then? So here it is. So probably difficult to see because the camera will be adjusting for the lights, but that is actually a silver finish. And if I look close up, actually, it's come out alright. Actually, I'm quite impressed with that. So you can see the bits like there in the middle, where I went over with the white pen just to keep the line going, so they come out okay. There was another bit where I had to do some repairs, which I can't find now. Again, I keep losing it, so obviously there's that one up there as well. Can't see the other one now. But, actually I'm quite impressed with the result on that. All the lines seem to come out quite well. Now, there were a few that got eaten through or a bit thin, so that one there is a bit on the thin side. There was some like that one there, just under the thumb, and definitely that one up there that's been eaten through. So that's just where it's become exposed when I've been rushing it. But it'd be interesting to see what these are like, and might be another one there as well. So there might be a few that need a bit of touch up. What I probably can do with these is just run the soldering iron down it with a little bit of solder just to bridge some of these gaps. That probably will get away with it. So I think what I'll do is I'll try that probably next time now, because I think that's enough for this evening. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. You can see there's a bit of patina going on here, and that's just where I think it's transfers from the paper. So it leaves a bit of an imprint, and I've tried to rub it away with the wire wool, but it's not come out all that good. So never mind. I think I'm quite impressed with that actually. I think that's come out quite nicely. So So the next thing I should probably do now is start looking at repair some of these tracks. So I know there's a few bits that look like they might be broken, but the best thing I'll probably do is actually just test it for conductivity. So what I'm going to do is just get a multimeter and just test it between 2 points, and if it connects all the way through then that's fine, and if it doesn't then I'm just going to quickly mark it up, and then what I'll do is I'll try and repair some of these with the soldering iron. I think should be able to bridge some of these gaps, but we'll have a look anyway. First thing though is just identifying which ones are the breaks and where they are, and then we can look at repairing them after that. Right, let's crack on. This is just my very cheap multimeter. I think this was from Maplin, when Maplin used to exist. I think it was somewhere in the region of about £20 or £30, but I've had it quite some time actually. It's been quite trusty. Still on the same battery as well, I think, same 9-volt battery. So it either says how much I use it or how power efficient it is. So what I've done is I've just popped it into the circuit mode, circuit detection mode, or continuity, yeah, let's call it that. So the idea basically is that if I get a beep if there's a connection there. So effectively, if I go from this pad down here, that should take me to the pad over here, and it does. So what I can do now is I can just walk up these pads one at a time, and I should get a beep for each one. So it looks like for the address bus, actually all the connectors are good all the way across. And visually wise that looks the case as well actually. What I'll do in a second is I'll just check it to make sure nothing's bridging. So at the moment electricity is making it all the way across the board, but it is possible that some of these might be shorting, so we'll come back to that. Let's move on to the control Y bus, which is the next one up. Right, so looking there we have a dead one. So if I trace that back and see at what point it's okay. So it looks like the break is between this point and this point here, which looking at that there does look like there's a bit of a fragile piece there. Cool, okay. So what I'm going to do is just quickly mark that with a piece of post-it note, should do the trick. So what this ought to note is it's that bit. I'm going to do this. Mark that one just there. Then what would be handy is if I've got a pen somewhere, or a pencil. It's just there, the bit I'm trying to fix. Okay, right, let's carry on testing. So it looks like there might be another fault on that one there. That one's okay, so it's this next one. So where's that? And that makes sense, I can see the break is there, so cool. So that one's another one. So that's just there. Right, DC bus. So another break on this one. Okay, looks like it's between this point and this point. In fact, I can see there actually there's quite a big break on the pad. Now that's going to be a tricky one to fix, I think. Yeah, and the rest of those are okay. Oh, I've got to stuck that to the table. Yep. Alright, what's next? Okay, possible another break. Okay, so this one, yeah, I can see that it's just a tiny little one just down there. Now, I'll say a lot of this was, I think, partially because I was trying to rush the etching process, which I think has caused me a few problems. but also again some of these traces are quite fine, so I think that might also have caused me a few problems. Right, what was next? So that was that one. I just think with this is trying to keep track of where you've got to, so that one should be broken. Okay, another one. Does look like they're all down this end of the board, so I've got a break between there and a lot of this is just trying to work out where you are. I've lost that one. I must have probably just went for the wrong pad. No, they look okay. So there's 4 breaks there, so there's 4 things we need to fix, which is okay. So the next thing I want to do now is just quickly just check there's no bridges. So the easiest way to do this will be just to just get between these pads like this. I've just checked them. Well, it's more likely they'll short between these, because these are basically where it's closest together. Again, once I've soldered this board, I can give it another check just to make sure it's still okay. The reason why I'm doing this before drilling is it's entirely likely that when I'm drilling I might go and open up some of these pads a bit, and so what I want to do is just make sure that before I start these would have worked. Good, no bridges there. It's interesting actually. I think if you get these boards professionally made, I think they do a circuit test for you, so it'll check that the board's okay, but of course because I've made this by hand I've got to do it all myself. Right, the only thing I haven't checked is just some of these power rails, but to be honest not much can go wrong with these, because there's 4 connectors in each group, so I'm just going to test there. There should be no leakage between the two because there's a nice big gap between them. Same again for the negative rail, and also as this is a ground plane I should be able to pick that up anywhere. There shouldn't be any problems with these. Again, just making sure if it's touching the ground plane at any point. No, they all seem fine. And then the final one then is just this this diagnostic power supply, which just uses if there's any part of the card that only wants to receive power when the computer's effectively in the manual operation mode. I don't think any of the cards actually use it, but I just put it there just in case any of them actually ever did. Right, okay, so I need to fire up this soldering iron and try and fix these brakes. There's also one down here that's a bit thin as well, so I'm just going to mark that one up. It's not actually a brake, but it's quite thin at that point, so I'm just going to mark that one up as well. I think otherwise they didn't look too bad. No, they look fine. Okay, right, let's have a quick tidy up and get that iron fired up. Okay, right, so I've taken my cutting mat out of the way because I don't really want to be soldering on top of that. Try and get everything in shot for you. Just one thing just while we're doing this as well, I think I realised in my early videos that the sound quality is really bad. Most of it's because I'm recording this on my iPhone, and of course where the phone's been moved around and I'm in different places, the volume varies quite a lot. So you probably just noticed in the last clip, and hopefully from this one onwards it sounds a little bit better. So what I've done is I've just bought myself a little lapel microphone, not expensive, and just a quick one just to plug into the bottom of the iPhone, and hopefully that'll improve the sound quality. I'm trying to do on here is just clean my iron up a bit, because actually I've not used this in quite some time. This tip is really in a bad condition. What I don't really want to do is, there's a danger now. I think I've said something similar before, but It's again the thing that where as a child when I was colouring in on my colouring book, draw the nice lines and stop colouring and go all over the lines. There's now a danger I'm just about to do that when soldering. So what I don't want to do now is start chucking solder everywhere. So I'm going to try and go for one that, so this one down here I know is not broken. Let's try and keep this all in shot. So I'm just going to see if I can just run a small bit of solder just over it and just see what happens. Doesn't look too bad actually. There's a bit of a ridge on that, but right, I'm just going to have a closer look at this off camera. Yeah, I think that'll probably do okay. That actually, that seems to have done a reasonable job. So what I'm going to do is just see if I can do the same with these other ones. So I'm just going to move some of these labels away, just so I can get in. So that one there, that one needs to come back a bit. So that one there, that pad there. That line there. Right, okay. So I think that one's done there. See if I can do the same now on this one down here. I'm not sure if that's actually taking. Yeah, it's not quite bridging the gap there. This is probably more down to my soldering skills. No, what it's doing is just dragging a ball of solder over the joint there. I think the problem there is it's quite a wide gap, whereas some of the other ones have been smaller ones. So for example this one up here, I might be able to get away with soldering. No, actually no, that's quite a big gap as well. Yeah, I'm just getting solder everywhere. Right. Yeah, it's making a bit more of a mess of the board than I wanted. I think what I'll probably do then is I mean, I could try and lay down a little bit of wire to bridge the gap, but I think that's going to get quite fiddly quite quickly. So I think what I'll do is I'll finish the board off properly, and then I think I'll bridge any gaps with some Kynar wire, I think, as I said before. See if I can suck some of the solder up off of this. I've also got a solder sucker that could probably do this nicer, but I always worry with those is they tend to pull everything up. I never have much luck with solder wick for some reason. Again, I think that more says about my technique than anything. There we go. I swear it's going to get quite messy now. Right, what I actually seem to have done is succeeded in totally destroying this part of the board. In fact, it goes to show how thin these copper tracks are actually. So this one's actually started coming off the board. So I'm just going to see if I can trim that off and just stop that from getting any worse. Yeah, you know, that sort of thing when you instantly regret doing something. I think that's pretty much what I've done here. So yeah, so I'm going to have to do some wire links, but that's fine. I kind of expected that might be the case. I was hoping I might have to bridge some of these with soldering, but I am definitely making this a lot worse. So I'm going to stop there while I'm still ahead. We'll ignore all these bits and we'll repair them later. And let that be a lesson to me not to bother to try and repair these tracks. As I say, there's only 4 that are broken anyway, although there's probably 5 or 6 now to be honest, but we'll worry about those later. Sigh. Come on. Off you come. Right, okay. So then, yeah, that's I probably don't really want to do this close up, but I'll show you what a mess I've made. Yes, that's pretty grotty up there now, so that's quite bad. There's a few flecks of solder elsewhere, so right, I think I'm going to move on to drilling now actually, because that's another opportunity to really break this board apart, so we'll jump forward to that and see how that goes. Again, I'm not too far away actually, that if I had to start again it wouldn't be the end of the world, it'd be a bit annoying, but again, you know, this is all a learning process, so right, let's move on.